Hello, everybody. You have tuned in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm Sergeant Rich Myers from the Indiana State Police District 52 Public Information Office. We thank you for joining us today, and each and every week we're brought to you by the Cops for Kids and the Indiana State Police Alliance. Thank you for their support very much every week that they are here with us. And thanks to Tom Trial for putting us on YouTube and on Channel 16 now of local Indianapolis Comcast and cable stations. So thank you very much, Tom, for your efforts here. Today I've got a good friend, a longtime friend, worked with him many years. First time on the show, though, Steve Moore. Welcome, Steve Moore. How are you?
Very good. And yourself?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being here. And we go back a long ways, and we crossed many bridges, and we worked together there when we were both civilians at the garage.
That's right.
And Steve, your official title now is Fleet Manager.
Correct.
At the garage. And the garage is what we're talking about, folks, is at 21st and Post. Out there at Indianapolis, you see all the cars out there and all the state police markings on those cars. And Steve is the one that's in charge of that. So a little bit of background on Steve. What year did you start at the state police?
I started April the 1st, 1985.
Fool's Day.
That's correct. That's correct. April the 1st.
1985,
right.
And I think I started January 1st of 84. 83. I came in 83, January 1st of 83. Right. But you didn't start out with the garage, did you?
Yes, I actually started as an installer.
Okay.
I was an installer for the first 3 years, a little over 3 years, and then I became the supervisor of the installation section and was there until September of 2010, and now I'm the fleet manager.
So, installer, tell us a little bit about that. And we still have installers, obviously.
Correct. Yes.
So what's the job of an installer?
The installer puts when we get the new cars in, they come from the dealerships, and the only thing that actually comes on that car originally is the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the only thing that we do not install. It's installed beforehand. But the installers put all the radios in the cars, the laptop computers, the cameras, the radars, anything that the police officer needs during his duties. Also the lights on the outside, whether it be the light bar on the top, the deck lights, wig-wag headlights, and those kind of things, and the decals. So everything is done to that car right there at the garage at 21st and Post Road. All of our police cars start in Indianapolis, and they all end up there.
And it's all in-house. It's all done by the Indiana State Police.
Correct.
And and we're going to talk about the rookie cars here in a little bit. We're going to get to that point. But that has evolved so much from when we started. I mean, I know back when we started, they had the old Dodge cars, the big old St. Regis, big long bombs.
That was a little bit before my time, but not by much.
Yeah.
So when I first started, we had Crown Vics.
Okay. The Crown Vics, been around forever.
Yep.
But a lot of that radio stuff was put on the humps, weren't there?
Yeah, a lot of it was just mounted there, whatever they could do to make it work and mount it so the police officer could use it. Since that time, we've moved up to where we actually have a console in the center of the console, and we put it in there. And I believe they actually started using the center console, I want to say in 1984, where they actually just started mounting the equipment into a console and then mount the console in the center.
But they go from we've had them on the hump because back, I think when we started, they had the bucket seats in the front.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, some of the earlier ones before my time would have been they had just a bench seat in there. Right.
Yeah, the old St. Regis, I think.
The bucket seats started probably about 83 or 84, somewhere in there, and I can't say that for sure, but I know it was right in that time frame.
And that's about when they come up with the idea of the console in the middle, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so they've put that in there. It makes things a lot easier, a lot neater.
Yes.
A
lot easier to use.
Yeah, and things can come in and out, I'm sure, a lot easier.
Right.
But over the years, I'm sure things have got easier with the lighting. I know what you guys have worked with and struggled with a lot of times is just all the power that those lights suck down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, years ago, they were all halogens and a lot of power drawn. I mean, to a point to where you'd actually get some very hot and could potentially have caused fires. To my knowledge, we've never had a car burn up because of that, but there was issues that too much power being pulled on the alternators and those kind of things. So
we've evolved a lot around from even the part when I started, we had the double bubbles on top,
right?
One on each side and the big siren head in the middle. And then we've now graduated up to the the LEDs.
Correct.
That's got to be a big improvement.
Oh yeah, they don't pull near the amperage that the older lights did.
And they don't have I'm sure they're a lot more aerodynamic too on the cars
Yes.
for better gas
Yeah.
mileage and
Yeah.
that type of stuff. Well, so with the invention of the console and that type of stuff, and what makes you decide, okay, we're going to make a stripe, we're going to make a unmarked car, we're going to make a semi-marked car. How does that decision come about, and what's the difference between those?
We have a policy to wherever each district keeps a certain percentage of their cars, whether it's a fully marked, a semi-marked, which is a car that looks basically the same as a fully marked, but it does not have the light bar. And then we have unmarked cars, which may be a blue or gray or silver car like that. Each district, like I say, has a set amount. But when we decide when we're going to build those cars, we use a high mileage list. We have approximately 1,900 cars in the fleet. We keep a list of the highest mileage car all the way down to the lowest mileage. And when
somebody miles it out?
Yeah, when the miles are run out, we look at that and look at what that trooper currently has, and then we decide, okay, he's got a fully marked car, we'll build a new fully marked car for him. Some cases that may change. He may get a different type of car. It depends on the situation, but we just kind of work our way down.
And not only do the stripes that you guys work on, and the semi-stripes, which maybe some people out here in the public are not familiar with the language you use, but like you said, that's a car that's got the shields on the side.
Correct.
Lights probably mounted in the inside on the windshield, on the back
Right.
glass,
Yeah.
but it's still got the stripe on it
Right.
on the side.
Yes.
And then the unmarked, which could be any color of car.
Correct.
With the lights on it
Right.
again. But not only do you guys do that, you've got the undercover vehicles,
Right.
you've got maintenance vehicles,
Yep.
and I heard you're doing some like meth trucks.
Meth suppression. There's marijuana eradication. Like you said, undercover vehicles. We have bomb trucks. We have canine cars, canine trucks, possibly in the future. Don't know that for sure at this point, but so yeah, there's a lot of variations.
So you've got to manage the parts list. I can't imagine. I mean, I'm going to have the parts guy in here from the garage and talk to him. But my gosh, that's
Right.
got to be amazing. That's like managing a Dodge dealership, a Ford dealership, who knows what, because you got all kinds of different vehicles.
Yeah, at this point we have Dodge commissions, Fords, and Chevrolet.
And not only that, but you're managing the undercover vehicles, which
Right.
a lot of times, and the public may not know this also, but when we do an undercover investigation and the court awards us that vehicle, we can use that
Correct.
for a while.
Right.
Is it up to a couple years?
Most of the time it's 3.
3 years?
Right, 3 years.
And you got to maintain that.
Right.
You got to have that, but
Correct.
they can use that for their undercover operations
Yes.
and take care of that vehicle also. Well, again, you're listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm Sergeant Rich Myers from the Indiana State Police Alliance, along with Fleet Manager from the Indianapolis Post, or actually from Logistics, Steve Moore. Good friend of mine, been around a long time. Good farmer. Good farmer guy. And a Barney Fife entrepreneur. Loves Barney Fife, right?
That is correct.
That's right. We talk about that all the time. But we're talking about the Indiana State Police Fleet Management Program and the cars that we have and what it takes to keep those on the road. And you said we have around 1,900?
Right at 1,900 in our fleet, total fleet, yes.
That's statewide.
Right, statewide.
A lot of people probably don't understand, too, that we have to maintain cars at the academy for the
Correct.
troopers to learn to
Right,
drive.
Right.
How many do we have out there? Do you have
We
any?
keep approximately about 30 out there for the academy.
And we maintain those, too?
Right.
Wow.
Yes. Yep,
And-
we maintain those. We will go through them in our garage before we send them out to the academy. Once they're out there and there's an actual academy going and they're using those cars, we send a mechanic out there to maintain them when they're out there. So if they have any issues with the brakes or the tires,
And they're not treated the nicest out there.
that's correct.
they're
That's
put
pretty
through
rough.
the paces out
They
there.
sure are. It's pretty rough. They're pretty rough on them.
Yeah, and because they're teaching the kids what to do, and the new recruits what to do, and how to drive them. So they're not very easy on those cars. Let's get around to the rookie cars, which we're getting ready to do now.
Right.
How many are
right.
we going to have?
41.
41 rookie cars. 41 rookies. So what's the process of that? They say, hey, we got a rookie class coming here. Where's that start at? What happens?
Well, we know when they start a class, and I'm not sure exactly how many weeks that is. It's 17, 19 weeks. I'm not exactly
somewhere
sure
around there,
about
20, 22.
So when they start a class, and usually they'll start a class of, say, somewhere in the neighborhood of 60. So then we start planning about that time to know we're going to need about 60 cars. The rookies do not get brand new cars. We don't want to put them in a brand new car.
There's a reason for that, right?
Yeah, there's a reason for that. So we actually then what we'll do is, if we know how many people we have, then we'll actually build a new car for a trooper that's already on the road and has a fully marked car on the road, and we'll build a car for him and then bring his car in and then turn that into what we'd call a rookie car. We have a certain criteria that we have to meet, and we usually make that decision about the same time and decide what kind of car it's going to be, which we know they're always going to be fully marked. The first car that gets always a fully marked. And then particularly this year, there'll be a Crown Vic. We look at the mileage.
There'll be a Crown Vic this year?
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
They will all be a Crown Vics.
Okay.
Very, very possible this will be the last year that the rookies will receive Crown Victorias for their first car.
Yeah.
Because the Crown Victoria is no longer being made, and we now have Dodge Chargers.
How long have we done that? When was
We've had Dodge Chargers since 2010.
Okay.
So possibly the next class will end up with reissue, what we call reissue a Dodge Charger.
Okay.
So, but then we look at the mileage and we kind of set a criteria what type of mileage. This particular year, we had to kind of space that out a little bit more because we don't have as many available, and so somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 to 120,000 on these cars when they go back to the rookies. Those cars will come into the garage, be completely gone through bar mechanics, make sure everything's good,
right,
up to date. Up and going, ready to go. Just so they spend a lot of time doing that, and then our installers will go through them also to make sure everything's working properly, get them cleaned up and ready to issue them out.
I know when we've been out there on issue day, a lot of times the news media will come out there with us when the rookies get their car because it's pretty amazing, exciting day for them.
Yeah.
Something they had, and it's an exciting day for you guys.
Oh, yeah, it is. There's a lot of work involved.
Yeah.
And like I say, we start several months ahead, and there's a lot of work involved. And can be very stressful at times, particularly when you get closer to that date. They will get them this year on April the 14th. So yeah, it's very stressful at times, but it is very gratifying,
rewarding,
I guess you'd
yeah.
say, when the day they get them and they all drive them out at the same time, and that's really neat.
Yeah, it's a cool event to see, and a lot of times the news media are there to watch it, and the father blesses the cars as they go out, but they look brand new.
Yeah.
When they roll out of there, you guys get them all waxed up, looking sharp, clean, inside cleaned up, and they look sharp when they leave that area.
They look good.
Yeah, and the guys are very, very proud of them. And and again, everything's gone through from you guys put down to the flashlight in there.
Right.
That's rechargeable.
Right.
You guys are and have to take care of that.
Yes.
Well, one last thing we want to talk about before we get out of here and let you go. So what's on the horizon? Dodge cars, are we sticking with those?
Correct. We'll still have, and I'm not sure exactly how many more years that can change, but we're just now starting to receive some new cars in. We're last Thursday started getting some new 2015 Dodge Chargers. Okay. So we will have them for at least the next year or more. So at this point in time, we're probably a little over half of our cars are Dodge Chargers on the road.
Well, Crown Victoria is kind of a workhorse, though, isn't it?
Yeah. It's been around for a long time, and been good cars. And so, but things change and times change, and there's just
they're not made anymore, so you can't get the police package.
They're not being made, so you don't have a choice. You have to make the changes as time goes.
What is the police package? Dodge, Chevy, and Ford? Is that it?
Correct.
Right?
There's a Dodge Charger. The Chevrolet has a Chevy Caprice. It's not actually Caprice. It's Chevy Caprice, and Ford has a Ford PI Police Interceptor.
Okay. Well, folks, we're out of time. We're going to call it quits. Steve, thanks for coming in here. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much.
You've been listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow with Fleet Manager of the cars, the Indiana State Police, Steve Moore. We thank him for being here. We thank the Indiana State Police Alliance, Cops for Kids, for sponsoring again for this show. We'll talk to you again next week. We're going to have a little different somebody. Kyle Hankins is going to be on here from Quartermaster. So he's a famous guy. Everybody will recognize him. Thanks for being here. We'll talk to you next week. Roadshow out. Bye-bye.